Today's topic. You're a young man and you want to learn, avoid making mistakes that I made. Take some notes. First note, young men, do not kiss and tell. Shut the fuck up about whatever kind of bedroom activities you engage in. All right?
And stay vague. If you have to say something, stay vague.
Keep it to yourself. All right? There's nothing to brag about to your friends. Oh, you man, bag this. That's not cool, B. It makes you look lame. It might seem cool now. Trust me. In a couple years, you're not going to be feeling that way. And I'll tell you this. When you don't learn to not kiss and tell, what ends up happening is that you build a negative reputation. Listen, when someone chooses to sleep with you, that is something that you share with them. That is an intimate moment that you share with them.
Bless you.
Respect that sense of privacy. That extends to nudes as well. I think there's nothing more pathetic than men who decide to share.
And it's also very illegal. But besides the fact that it's illegal,
just morally, it's reprehensible. If I knew a man that was doing that, I'd be like, bro, check yourself. That's just.
I don't even want to.
My friends would never do that, and I would not associate with people who think it's cool to do that. You got something? Great. That's for you and that person. That's
when someone sends you a nude, I believe it's a little secret. You sharing the news that someone gave to you and calling that person XYZ actually tells more, not about the person that sent you the nude, but tells more about you.
It just shows that you have a fragile ego, that you need an ego boost to show people that you were with somebody and that they sent you something. Bruv, it makes you look lame.
That's whack.
Now, today's video is sponsored by Adam and Eve. There's going to be times where you're going to need some extra equipment, extra items for all your bedroom activities. As such, if you use promo code ABBA, you get 50% off on one item, as well as free shipping to anywhere within the US or Canada. It's a good deal. You know what I mean? You got a little extra something to bet. You know what I'm saying? Keep it spicy, right? 2, learn to be brave.
What's your definition of brave?
Here's what I'll say. As an individual, encountering fear is inevitable. You will be in situations where you will be afraid. And fear cannot be stopped. So I always tell people, don't try to fight and control things you can't stop. What you can control, however, is your response to fear. And I define bravery not as the absence of fear, but understanding, acknowledging your fear, and persevering regardless.
What is the difference between fear and stupidity?
Huh?
Because sometimes people are going to mistake bravery with yeah, I was brave. No, bro, that was stupid. That was hella stupid.
Well, I mean, sometimes it's just hindsight. Do you dig what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
Sometimes you got to make mistakes. You know what I mean? Failure does not determine whether something was stupid or not. Sometimes you got to just take that risk. And if you fail, you fail. But being brave will always, in the long term, give you the best outcome possible. But by being brave, you ensure that you're always going to be put in situations that will be outside of your comfort zone. You're going to learn, you're going to grow, and you're not going to stay stagnant. You're going to test your character. You're going to test your values as a result of being put in these situations. Being brave ensures that who you are will be cemented by experience rather than ideas. Does that make sense? Next time when fear does come, you'll know to recognize it, you'll learn to acknowledge it, and you'll learn to move past it right away.
Okay, it's going down.
Listen, a crisis comes, I'm good to go. How we moving? What do we need to do? Because I've been through it so many times. I've taken the most dumb risks you can imagine.
Oh, we know. We've taken some risks. We've been in the gully.
Yes, we have. Here's what happened. Civil war broke out around us.
Literally.
And we were able to leave a country.
Literally.
And we had to walk through what I would consider semi-war zones. Okay? But we kept a calm face and we understood that we needed to do what was necessary in order to get out of it.
But if there was
as a man,
yeah,
I'm telling you as a man, people will often look at you in moments of crisis to lead them to a better place. Or to at least be the person who supports others who lead them to a better place. So you need to have your shit together. So be brave, all right? Be brave. Take those difficult decisions. Don't always choose the easy route. Be brave and do what's scary, okay? The third thing, learn to say no. Learn to assert your boundaries. Asserting your control is not only sexy and endearing to the opposite sex, but it is paramount to your mental health. Because once you're able to assert your boundaries, learn to say no to things that you don't want to accept, you create your own sense of kingdom. And I'm not talking about your room in your mama's bed. I'm talking about up here.
And relationships.
I'm talking about this. They can't take that away from you. Once you know how to assert yourself and you're going to live by that, then you can protect that at all times.
If there's some things that some of your friends or your acquaintances or the people that you see are acting a certain way and you're not comfortable with that, you have to be able to be like, hey, you know what? If that happens again, I will leave. I will drop all of that because I'm not comfortable with this and that and that. And by doing so, trust me, by doing so, you're going to be called many names. And people are not, you're going to smell the gas. Because the gaslighting is going to come. Oh, you're crazy. That's nothing. Oh, you're chill, relax. It ain't, no. It ain't a thing to you, but I'm not having that. And this is not happening. And if you want this to keep on going, that has to stop. It happens again, I'm out. And once you say that, go with your word. The next time it happens.
And I'll even go as far to say this. As you learn to assert your own boundaries and to respect them, you also learn how to respect other people's boundaries. Because one who has mastery over his dominion does not feel the need to invade everyone else's. Develop a code and live by it. A man must have a code, a set of rules and values that you will die for, because it makes it a lot easier to live.
You talk about the bro code?
Nah, but that's poetic. I'm not going to lie. When I wrote this, I was like, well, that's a good line. Hold on. A man must have a code, a set of rules and values that you will die for, because it makes it a lot easier to live.
That's poor. That's that more than poetic.
Damn, nigga. Yo, start snapping.
I forgot to snap.
I die for values.
Okay.
I die for codes.
Yeah.
I'm coding.
Okay.
Coding for kids.
Programming.
Is this legal?
I don't know.
Chris D'Elia.
Okay.
All right, we're going to stop there, I think. Develop a code. What does that mean? It means that, okay.
That's what you're doing right now. That's a code.
Yeah.
That's a code, and you live by those rules.
Sure. You know, for me, there's just a certain set of values that I have to live by. A certain sense of compassion for my neighbors, towards the elderly, towards the weak. Those are things that are super important to me. Like, if I see it in front of me, I have to act. I'm compelled to. Not because someone tells me or not because I'm going to feel guilty, but because within me, I think it's important to protect those people, right? It's important for me to live a life of integrity. Why? Because if I don't sleep well. My consciousness eats at me. It's so embedded in who I am that if I lie for money, if I lie for job opportunities, or if I hide who I am in order to gain something, like, it's just not good for my mental health. Like, that's how embedded it in me is. It's important for me. So how do you develop a code? Well, you do it through learning. You do it through learning. You do it through observing other people's ethics, and you assimilate, and you try to be like, do I want this? Do I like this idea? And you're like, yeah, let me have that. And then from there, you're going to be tested, right? You're going to be faced with situations where you're going to have to choose between your ethics and whatever it is. And what you choose will determine whether or not these things become cemented in your being. There are just things that I cannot do in life. Point number 5, be patient with yourself. You are young, you are growing, you will not stop growing, and things will get easier, more clear, much more simple, but it's going to take time. As young men, we're full of testosterone. We want to take over. We want to be the top dog. We just left our mom's house. We want to do all this stuff. Take your time. The level of comfort I feel within myself is nothing. Like when I now it's great, but when I was 22, nappy. When I was 18, non-existent. It was a progressive thing. Understand, some people may progress faster, some people may progress slower.
It's not a race.
You're gonna have your time.
It's not a race.
Don't rush it. Be patient with yourself. All right. Especially for men, man. Like, we peak in our 30s.
I mean,
peak in our 30s. I can assure you, my life has not gotten, in terms of finances, in terms of dating prospects, in terms of life stability, all that stuff. Everything is peaks around this time, and it's like that for most dudes. All right? So be patient. Point number 6, learn to listen. All right? I think as young men, we determined that what it means to be a man is to be assertive and to lead all the time. But what you have to understand is that you may not necessarily have the qualities or the knowledge or the skill set to lead. So take the time to learn. Sometimes people think you assert yourself by talking a lot, but other times, I'm telling you, your silence can be just as assertive as your talking. Your ability to listen intently and assimilate information is just as important as actually conveying information, especially in positions of leadership. Leadership is not mostly about talking. It's actually more about listening.
People think there's a difference between...
Because your orders are not based off what you want to say. Your orders are on the information that you've taken in. Your ability to listen, to analyze information, and then provide orders. That is the first step. The first step is not to talk. It ain't this. It's this. It's this, and then it's processing. So learn to develop your listening skill.
Yeah. The listening part is not so much just for the people that you consider higher than you. Listen to the people around you, because everybody can teach you. Anybody can teach you something.
Yeah.
So it's a multi-level thing. It's not just the people that you consider higher.
Point number 7: avoid debt. I'm gonna speak about this in a financial term. As you're gonna be growing through life, especially around my age, I know a lot of men who are shackled by a lot of financial debt. In fact, it's almost drowning for them. And one thing my mom taught me that I think was pretty much, life-changing for me, she said, don't buy anything you can't pay for outright. You got a credit card? That's fine. But don't pay for anything that you can't pay for at the end of the month.
Your mama said that to you?
Yeah.
My mama said that to me too.
Yeah, she made that very clear. And I think, my mom had some terrible messages, but that was definitely one of the best ones. Okay, I'm going to be 100 with y'all. And I'm so grateful for that, because it set me up in the future when I had more sense of what I wanted to do and when I was more comfortable with myself. I'm like, cool, I want to do this. I wasn't shackled by bad decisions I had made financially then that were going to follow my credit history and all that stuff. So my recommendation to y'all is just avoid debt. I know it might be tough. There might be a school. Maybe there's situations where it does make sense if you're ready to make that decision. But if you're going to take on debt, make sure you know what that means. Make sure you understand the ramifications of that long term and you're willing to take that risk. Because if you're not, do not take on that debt. Do not take on more than what you know you can handle. Understand the risks that you're taking on. Cool? Point number 8, seek out a mentor. If you don't have one, right? If you don't have a father figure, a brother, whatever, uncle, coach, whatever, seek one out. All right. I know it might seem like a weak thing as a man to be like, but trust me, there's a lot of men who are ready to provide you with that insight, ready to provide you with their time and energy. Go seek them out.
How do you seek a mentor?
Well, there actually are a whole bunch of organizations in most cities where if you want to be linked up with a mentor, there are programs. But oftentimes, you'll probably actually already know one. You just don't actually make that extended effort to go and have that conversation.
Put that name in there.
Yeah.
You're my mentor. No, you just
No.
go to the other point that we said before. Listen. Just listen to what that person
Or sometimes
says.
it's someone way older that you respect and you're like, yo, listen, I got some questions about this. And like, yeah, sure, young blood, ask me the questions. If you know somebody, ask them a question. You don't have to sign a dotted line and be like, hey, nigga, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to see you every Tuesday.
I'm gonna be that. I know that when I'm gonna be old,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be that dude. Yeah, what you got? What's on your mind, bro?
Yeah.
You see the way you do this.
Yeah.
I got a story for you. No, I'm gonna be.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not
that
mad at
old uncle. Yeah, what was that thing you get? Huh? I know what you're talking about.
All our YouTube fans are looking at you like you're already that old uncle.
Yeah, pretty much.
Our fans are looking at you. Bruv, you've been that dude.
Yeah, I've been.
Preachers out here acting
I be that old man laugh.
That's a good laugh.
That's a good old man laugh.
This next point kind of ties into the last one. It's develop a space to confide in and ask questions. Have real conversations.
Get your homies together.
Yeah. And if your friends can't do it, then get rid of them and find friends where you can confide in. All right. Listen, I am an autonomous person. I can handle most of my problems by myself. But having a space where I felt comfortable to share some of my burdens every now and then, and to be able to also to listen to other brothers and be able to take on theirs, and also realize, oh, you're dealing with some of the same problems I am. Okay, well, just knowing that there's a sense of camaraderie. Camaraderie for men is so, so important. So when I'm telling you guys you need that, let me rephrase that. I'm not gonna say you need it. You can live and die without it, but life just is not the same without it.
Listen, I was raised with women around me. I got more women friends than men friends, and let me tell you, you set up that group when we have all these people and we're talking about real things, you know, not, yo, when we gonna smoke next, when we gonna go to the clip, get some inches, no, real stuff, not that, because there's a difference between, yo, you know what, hey, I got some weed we could roll, you
want to see some news?
Yeah, you want to see some news? You know that last girl that not none of that.
Yeah.
Issues that men go through. Listen, I didn't have that. I had that before. I had a couple of friends and stuff like that. But I didn't know it was really important. And I'm going to go with you.
How old are you?
I'm 38. I'm 38. But when you set that up and was like, yo, I didn't know I needed that. Even my girl was like, I'm glad you have that group. I'm really glad you have that group and you guys are able to talk. And I'm like, yo, I'm gonna just talk with the boys. I'm like, yeah, you do that. Cause what? She talks with her girls all the time.
Yep.
People that go through the same stuff as you do. I really didn't realize how important it was. It's a weird analogy, but it still is. Why do you think you have AA meetings? Because people, they understand their struggles that they go through. Mm-hmm. And that's why they get into groups and they can talk about it without judgment because they go through the same thing. Yep. So it's a bit the same thing as that. I didn't even know I needed that.
Yep.
But I do.
Yep. And the last one I would say is this. Be kind. Be compassionate. and think of your community. You know, I think especially for me as I grow older, like the idea of community matters so much to me. The idea of being part of something and providing and having roots in there and trying to cement that and nurture that, it means something to me. And I think as men, I think we do have a desire to want to protect. And I think that protection extends to our friends and family. But sometimes it could extend beyond that if you have the capabilities. If you've built the infrastructure to be able to handle your friends and family, sometimes you want to go beyond that. And what I would tell you is that there's a sense of fulfillment that you feel when you know you alleviate the burdens of the people around you. I know it's always happened for my friends and family, and it feels great because I have those bonds with them. But even for the people who are not part of that, you know, even with our fans, you know, the idea that we're nurturing something for some of you guys that really like helps you get through situations, that means something to me. It makes me want to do this work. Right? So I would tell you, whatever you're going into as a young man, have that idea of kindness and compassion and understanding that, like, yo, you want to nurture something in other people. You want to help them to be able to protect themselves and to protect others. And so you foster better communities in that sense. Be a pillar. Be a pillar for the others around you. Be the thing that keeps up the shelter, that keeps people safe. Right? I feel like, honestly, that's a role that I want to have in life. That is a role I want to have for my friends and my family and my community. And I think a lot of other people want that as well. So live your life on most days by those ideas. Yeah? So when you're going through and stuff and I'm like, yo, is this going against those ideas? Is this my actions right now hurting my community? Am I acting in a way that's really harmful in that sense? Question that, you know? And that's maybe more of an advanced idea, but it is something that even I, at 30 right now, am just developing a little bit more and more. So yeah, I think that was pretty much my 10 tips. Did you have a tip that you wish you knew as a young man?
When you said be able to say no, I was just thinking about something else. I was not even talking about like asserting yourself, but on top of that, be able to say no is power.
Mm-hmm. You know what that is, though? You know what that is?
What is it?
That's just discipline.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
it's I wish. Yeah, I learned that along the way. If I was a kid and someone was able to stop being so impressionable by people, you're being able to say no is great.
You know what I'll say to you about discipline? Discipline is a sense of freedom. You know, there's this idea that like if you restrict yourself, you're therefore living a life in a prison. Not really. What's happening with discipline is that you're not giving in to your urges. You're aspiring to a greater ideal. And so when you're shackled by your urges, you're actually not in control of your being. You're literally giving yourself over to whatever whims and things that happen to you. You are a vessel for everything happening to you. You are not actually in control. Discipline is freedom because it gives you the choice to therefore say, I will do this or I won't. So yes, in that sense, I definitely agree with Preach. Learn to say no to whether it's women, whether it's substances, whether it's, crime, whatever it might be. Discipline is definitely super important.
You could put it that way.
Yeah. No. Well, this is it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. And that's it. You can't get more, but you can't get more.